Welcome back to the podcast, and what a weekend it is to be a Chelsea fan. 5-1 for the first team last night against West Ham, 5-0 for the under-21s against Newcastle last night, and then 4-2 for the under-18s against Crystal Palace this morning. We're going to be talking about the under-21s today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we are going to be bringing you as many match reports as possible from both the first team and the under-21s this season. So if you are interested in Chelsea's academy, Chelsea's youngsters, make sure to tap in. We're going to be bringing you plenty of great content focused around the academy this season. But let's get into it. And this is off the back of a brilliant first game for the under-21s last week against Manchester City. 1-3-1 with a Shin Mayuka hat-trick. Excellent hat-trick from Shin Mayuka. 2 brilliant headers and a fantastic solo goal. And he added to that again on Friday. A brilliant performance from him up top, leading the line as captain again. And anybody who knows me knows I love Shin Mayuka. I think his work rate is fantastic. I think his technical ability is superb. He has so many different great attributes. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, he is a deadly finisher in front of goal. This is a kid that can do it all, whether he's leading the line as a 9, whether he's playing a little bit deeper. This is a very, very talented young player. And this Chelsea, I mean, not just this Chelsea youth team, but I'm thinking this Chelsea team going forward, I want to see a front four of Mayuka, Derry, Richards and Ryan Kavuma-McQueen. Because Ryan Kavuma-McQueen was one that was sacrificed last night from the first team to allow Jesse Derry to make his first start for the club, and also Dujuan Richards to make his first start in over 400 days. Welcome back, Dujuan Whisper Richards, and both wide players managed to score a goal. Both of them fantastic efforts. I think Dujuan Richards was a brilliant long-range effort on his left side, but Jesse Derry looks an incredibly skillful player. I don't know whether it was his first touch, but one of his first touches was an outrageous piece of control. Flick down. He looks full of confidence, full of tricks. He looks very Jack Grealish-esque. I do see that in the way he moves, the way he finishes, the way he faces up his man. But I really, really like him. He's incredibly confident, incredibly skillful. And given that this was his first start for the under-21s, I mean, he came on for Kavuma-McQueen against Man City, and he didn't have very much to do because he got booked very early on. So he was kind of playing on a bit of a leash for his first appearance, or first substitute appearance. But his first start last night, and I thought he was sublime. His goal was fantastic. Some brilliant link-up play with Landon Emanalo. I mean, I spoke last week about Landon Emanalo and the connection he was building with Kavuma-McQueen on that left side. I think he got another 2 assists yesterday, Landon Emanalo, and he is a player. Again, if you watch this channel, you know how much I rate him. If you don't, do your due diligence on Landon Emanalo. He is the son of Michael Emanalo. I think he was our previous sporting director. But this is a kid that plays, like the majority of Chelsea youngsters, way above his age group. He punches way above his weight. He is so cool, calm, composed on the ball. I think he's a very, very good player. It looks like he's kind of found his role in that left side of defence. I see him, or saw him, more of a centre-back last season. But I think with Murray Campbell, with Caden Wilson as well, you've got a very, very strong centre-back pair in there. And I think Landon Emanalo on the left, Genesis Antwi on the right. You've got some really, really talented fullbacks. And Chelsea have always had a great track record of fullbacks, you know, not just looking at Reece James, but in recent years, Tino Livramento, Lewis Hall. In the youth side at the moment, we've got players like Richard Elise. There are so many brilliant young players that have come through the ranks, come through the Cobham Academy and gone on to ply their trade, you know, in the Premier League or elsewhere. And I have no doubt that Landon Emanalo and Genesis Antwi are both in that category. They will both be, at a bare minimum, Premier League players. You know, you've got so many talented kids in this Chelsea academy, but it's very, very difficult when I look at this under-21 side to not see a future for every single one of them. I think the talent that we have on the books is crazy, and to think that we have to drop, or not drop, we have to put players like Ryan Kavuma-McQueen on the bench to make room for Jesse Derry, for Dujuan Richards. I mean, this is a team with exceptional talent. Obviously, Reggie Walsh in the number 10. You know, we all know what Reggie Walsh is about. Really hope that we see more of him for the first team this season. But Harrison McMahon, I think another player that's really, really impressed me. Impressed me again last night. I think the way he moves the ball, I think he's a great passer, great distributor. The way he controls the tempo as well, I think very, very good. Plays very well alongside Ollie Harrison. I think both of those have formed a really, really good partnership. And the team is fairly consistent now. There is a fair amount of chopping and changing. You know, some of them obviously are a little bit younger, so they play for the under-18s and slightly younger age groups. And then some of the younger ones will get called up. You know, it depends on There's players that we haven't mentioned this weekend. Ibrahim Rabaj, I think Yaya Idrissi came off the bench for the under-18s today. But there are so many talented players at Chelsea right now in the youth system that often, and I mean, I know a lot of Chelsea fans are the same as me, but often when we are linked with players, when we are linked, for argument's sake, Enzo Maresca's been talking about a new centre-back for the last couple of weeks. When I hear those conversations, I'm thinking immediately of the youth. I'm thinking immediately of players like Harrison Murray-Campbell that have done a job for an extended period of time, be it 1 year, be it 2 years. They look incredibly confident. They fit very, very well into the system that they play in the under-21s under Callum McFarlane. I know it's only his second game, but it doesn't seem to me like too much has changed from last season. It seems like the consistency, the relationships, the connections are still there. And, I mean, this Chelsea side looks incredibly fit and intense as well. I think last season, it's very difficult to criticise the youth as well, because at the end of the day, they are obviously young. But I think if I was to criticise one thing about the youth last season, there was far too, in the under-18s, it's very yo-yo. As we saw today, they turned it around. Chelsea managed to turn it around, 2-1 down against Crystal Palace, managed to score 2 goals in 4 minutes, turn the game on its head. And there is quite a lot of that at the under-18s, end to end, the game is essentially on a knife edge at any given point. But the under-21s, in the 2 games that I've watched so far this season, incredible amount of control throughout. And I think, obviously, that, players like Reggie Walsh who have gained little bits of first-team experience, that's going to be nothing but beneficial to these youngsters and to the way that they, continue to tailor their game and try and grow and develop into the first-team players that we all know they can be. But I think the fact that these kids have grown as a unit, and the last time we saw, I think, a group of talented kids like this at Chelsea was that era of Chalobah, Gehi, Tomori, Loftus-Cheek, James, Mount, Solanke, all of these players that have gone on to do great things, whether at Chelsea or elsewhere. I get that same feeling right now of this core group of Chelsea players who are just top performers. And I think every goal scored yesterday was superb. Kavuma McQueen, fantastic, brilliant solo goal. Absolutely love what he does, love what he's about. Keep doing what you're doing. Jesse Derry looks like a fantastic addition to the team. For him, I'm already thinking about loan moves. I'm already thinking we need to get him out in January and get him some first-team experience somewhere. Because this is a kid that, don't get me wrong, he does improve the development squad, but I'd rather play someone like Kavuma McQueen, who is 16 years old. Jesse Derry, to me, looks ready for Championship, for League One, maybe. I think Jesse Derry, is as close to a loan as we're going to get. And I've only seen him start 1 game for Chelsea. But there are multiple players in this squad right now. And you look at that team, I think Shin Mayuka, another one who could go on loan and play in the Championship easily. Reggie Walsh, Landon Emanalo, even at, 16 years old, maybe 17, I can't remember how old he is. But him, Genesis Antwi, I could see them fitting comfortably into a senior, into a first team. And it is very, very exciting, with... As well, I mentioned the under-18s one today. You've got players like Chizzy Ezenwata, Sol Gordon. I think there are so many quality players in this Chelsea youth setup right now. It's very, very hard not to get excited. And, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. I don't think anybody's heaping more expectation on these players than they would be used to or they are expecting. I think they know what the standard is and they know what is expected of, a Chelsea player, whether you are a first team or a youth player. You are there to succeed and to play at the top of your game with other players who are also at the top of your game. And I think this year is going to be incredibly exciting for the under-21s. If you don't watch the under-21s, the majority of games, when they are broadcasted live, are available to watch for free on the Chelsea app or on YouTube. So make sure to tap in. Maybe we'll do some live match reactions or live match watch-alongs for the youth this season. I think these match reports are going to, in the most part, or for the most part, replace the live match reactions this year. But we will still try and throw a little bit of the live stuff in around the academy, because I do want to continue to promote that and to get as many eyes on it as possible, because, like I said, these are players that deserve to be watched. And, John Terry put out a fantastic interview this week talking about how football doesn't excite him. He doesn't enjoy watching football anymore. I mean, I will never not enjoy watching Chelsea after, having suffered the last 3 years. But the under-21s, the development squad, are so exciting to watch. And yeah, I have nothing but praise for them, nothing but good things to say. More of the same next week. Fingers crossed we can keep this going. They're obviously in the UEFA Youth League as well this season, so we're going to get to see these players, play some proper teams, some proper tests. Benfica, PSG, these are going to be very, very good youth setups, and it's going to be a great experience, obviously, for these players, 16, 17 years old, to get their first taste of European football for a lot of them. I have nothing but high hopes for this Chelsea team this season. Let me know what you thought. If you did watch the game on Friday, let me know what you thought. Who was your standout player? Who was your man of the match? I think I'd probably have to go for Landon Emanalo, both for his defensive contributions and for those connections, those assists going forward. I think he is developing into a really, really solid, mature player. But let me know what you thought. And of course, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow at Two Blues Podcast on the Instagram, on the TikTok. And we'll be back soon with some more great Chelsea content. Until then, up the Chelsea.